The yes, the next floor is for the open hybrid publishing. Joanna, thank you.
Thank you, Antonella. Hi, I'm Joanna Zylinska from Goldsmiths. I'm working together with Jonathan Shaw from Coventry. Our pilot is on open and hybrid publishing, and we are developing the Open Book of Photomediations, which is a creative multi-platform resource which we are calling an open book on photography and other media, and we'll be using Europeana and other open cultural resources with the emphasis on open. Plus, we are also developing an alternative business model for using open and hybrid publishing with regard to digital image-based heritage and sharing it with others, with universities, with students, scholars, with publishers, museums and galleries, and with digital heritage organizations. Now, why are we doing this? Why an open book? Well, think about the situation that publishing finds itself in today. The business has become much more cutthroat in the digital age. There are smaller profit margins. Both large high street and independent publishers and bookshops are closing. Only a few selected writers actually make money and can live off royalties. Amazon has changed the game. There is something called Netflix for Books, which is the new platform devised by Amazon, Kindle Unlimited, which became available in July. And for $10 a month, you can get 600,000 books or access to those books. So this is the social and economic context of our project. A lot of reactions to this state of events have been similar to those of the music industry demonstrated when things first started going digital, basically saying, please stop, and can we go back to the way things were? And when the days when the big conglomerates such as EMI or Universal dominated the game. But digitization has changed everything. The genie is out of the bottle and it's not going back in. So the business of publishing is changing. The way we read is changing. The way the books themselves function and look is also changing. So with our project, we are trying to see this change as something potentially exciting for the wider cultural sector, to tell a different, less weepy story about publishing, and to propose a model that is better suited to the digital era. The model draws on a number of ongoing developments in new media culture, some of which we've been part of, in science and in academia. But first of all, I want to remind you that books have always been open and hybrid, but we seem to have forgotten about this fact in the last 150 years. Until mid-18th century, the book was an unstable object, with Shakespeare's folio, for example, including over 600 typefaces and many inconsistencies with regard to spelling, punctuation, and page configuration. So as Gary Hall points out in his Digitize This Book, readers used to be involved in making decisions about the book, about the authority, about the author. But consequently, with the establishment of print and printing houses, the readers are now really not asked to make these decisions with the authority delegated to the algorithm. Customers who bought this item also bought X. So with our project, we are trying to foreground this instability of the book and the need to make decisions about it, first as editors and then as readers or perhaps users. Engaging with a book as a reader, user, buyer, producer, designer, writer, editor, publisher, funder is an intellectual, political, and ethical task, and not just a technical problem. Our pilot draws on a successful methodology for publishing open books developed by myself and colleagues from the Living Books About Life project from 2011. The project involved editing 25 curated open access books which repackage existing open science research by clustering it around selected topics whose unified theme was life. And the books were living in the sense of being opened to collaborative processes of writing, editing, updating, remixing, and commentating. My own book, Bioethics, had two formats, an online book as a PDF frozen book. There is also further history to this project. It's what I did as part of my kind of teaching career at Goldsmiths with my students on the MA Digital Media. We designed a course reader together, and we also wrote an essay together. So with 17 students, we set ourselves the task of exploring, can you use a Wikipedia model to write and edit books? Well, the answer to this is yes and no. We did write an essay, 17 of us. It did make sense. I did have to edit it. And you still need a curator. And I think if I want you to remember something from my talk, it's mainly that the role of the publisher is changing towards that of a curator. I mean, the curatorial role goes beyond the gallery these days, and I think it's probably the most important cultural role that both the publisher can perform and also that we with the Europeana project can perform. We are curating digital heritage in a number of different ways. So also the longer answer is yes, we still do need publishers, even if they do have to change. So now about our own project, Photomediations, with, as content curation. Last year, I launched a platform called Photomediations Machine, which is an open art gallery online, exploring the dynamic relationship between photography and media. I'm working on it together with the Taiwanese artist Ting Ting Cheng and a group of artists and academics. It's run on a pro bono basis. The project is non-commercial, non-profit, non-funded, and fully open access. And now, with Jonathan Shaw and the Coventry University, we're trying to do with our pilot we're trying to draw on these other projects, and as well as the book New Photoscapes that Jonathan edited, and the technical frameworks already in existence to design something that rethinks a coffee table book for the digital age. So our open book of photomediations will contain open access images concerning the evolution and current practices of photography and other media, as well as open access texts. The content will come from, and this is what it may look like. This is just not even a prototype, but a mock-up. And you can see this little window opening. So we'll try to make it look like a book and like a website and like a gallery, and we are playing with lots of different designs now. We've got a designer who used to be a book publisher, so he's got his feet into camps, and we are kind of exploring. The content will come from Europeana, but also will be supplemented by data from other open access repositories, such as Wikimedia Commons, Open Images, and others. Our aim is to show people that you can do it, that it's easy technically. That's why we'll use a pre-existing platforms and modules such as WordPress and other kind of borrowable bits of code, that there is a lot of material available out there. And we'll also try and educate people in open access materials and licenses, especially with regard to images. A lot of work has been done about texts, but we'll do something about images. We'd like to work with open licenses such as CC BY and similar. The book will be open because it will use open material. It will run on open source platforms such as WordPress, but it will also include 2 open zones, one of which will be an exhibition. We'll use so it will be a book with an exhibition inside. Might sound like a crazy idea, but again, it's to go back to this concept of the book being open, being living. So we're going to embed an exhibition in that and have an open call for it. So to sum up, our pilot aims to rethink the book itself as an open, living, collaborative endeavor in the age of open science, open education, open data, and e-book readers, such as Kindle and the iPad. Now you can ask, how is this a business model exactly? And it's an alternative business model for open and hybrid publishing, because remember, the digital genie is not going back into the analog bottle. There is definitely a social dimension here, promoting open access in education and in cultural sector, especially around images, but it's also pushing this idea as publisher, as a content curator. And in publishing, the money is perhaps elsewhere. It's in print on demand, it's in small editions, and it's in producing subscription model, such as British Journal of Photography has. It's in membership model, such as the Guardian membership has, and it's around the experience of book clubs, readership, the same way the music industry had to reinvent its own engagement with music through concerts and other forms of live engagement. We'll try and develop that around books as well, beyond the kind of narrow idea that money in publishing is just in the material to be published. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joanna. It was interesting to look at the expressions of our keynote speaker while listening at this presentation, because they are rather different approaches to publications. But now we enter into another exciting area,